We intentionally do not keep routines here because I could swear I have an article out there on it somewhere. Lauren, are you still in here? Are you the one that was asking me about the pig? We intentionally do not keep routines here because when those routines are broken, it can cause stress. And we highly advise people to start shaping change in that routine. And that's extremely important for Milo the pig, because if I give him a stagnant environment where nothing changes and everything's on a routine, he's fed at a certain time every day. You are a good boy. Yes, you are. I'm trying to identify something here. If Milo's routine is broken, and this isn't just for Milo the pig, this is for all of our animals. When that routine is broken, I can see a lot of frustration and behaviors labeled as aggressive start to happen. We intentionally, Milo does not get fed at a certain time every day, especially the pig. Because a lot of times I see pigs train people a lot, okay? And I've seen pigs train people into feeding them. So if I have a pig that's going to charge or lunge or bite, one of the things I start to train is a target, and then I'll train to station, and we have stations in every room. Stations help prevent accidents. Where was I going with that? Pig that's charging. A dog sitting his wet mouth on my knee, so I can tell that behavior's been reinforced. Maybe I just did it by looking at him. Yeah, so Lisa says dogs train people too. Yes, absolutely. And so if mine are 5 and 4 and 4.5 months, can I start changing their feed time? Yes, and this is what I do, Lauren. If I don't change Milo's route, keep his daily environment changing, even his feed time, what I start to see is pigs are notorious for this because they're pigs. They start bullying people into feeding them. I'll see them starting to nibble on toes. I'll see them start to head swipe. And the worst thing you can do at that point is drop food, because then you're teaching, oh, it's the head swipe that gets me food. And if you ignore that head swipe next time, what they're likely to do is increase that with a lunge, charge, a bite to see if that works. And if food is given, then you've just reinforced that behavior. A pig consult that I went on with a huge pig, charging pig. The woman was showing me that all of a sudden the pig started to charge her, and to redirect the behavior, she threw the food. I said, you're teaching the pig to charge you to get the food. So here we intentionally, especially with the pig, and especially with Nature's Nursery's turkey vulture, if the first thing I do every morning when I walk in the door, I don't care if it's the pig, turkey vulture, parrot, dog, the first thing I do walk in the door is feed. I got to hurry up and feed everybody because they're expecting their food right at this time. I'm going to see behavior issues start to skyrocket. So what I like to do, and Lauren, this is what I highly suggest, to get off of a routine. I need to pay attention to everybody's comments. Very funny, Quentin. When to change a routine, it's usually a lot of the animals that are on routines that have behavior issues, such as parrots screaming, okay, pigs charging, animals at zoos lunging, swiping. If your animal is used to being fed at 10 every morning, what I do is suggest feed it at 9:55 tomorrow. The next day, 10:05. The next day, 9:50. The next day, 10:10. The next day, 9:45. The next day, 10, 20, and try to get off the routine. Routines, we say some things. Studies show that with predictability comes boredom, but there is an article I have out there written, predictability does have its place. Will I put or keep an animal on a routine? Yes, certain instances when it's very stressful for that animal to come off of that routine. I will keep it on that routine. I will keep my approach very predictable to that animal, and then I'm slowly going to start shaping in change. I'm going to slowly start taking off of that routine, unless there's some serious health problem. But I'm talking basic general behavior. Okay, so it's all about balance, you guys. My eyes are always open. My ears are always listening. It's not hard to do. What is hard to do is tell people, not tell them, because that's easy for me to tell them to do something, to get them to pay attention. Like I am paying attention that this grinding on the beak behind my head, grinding on the cage. Okay? I'm listening to Rocky whistle. I know both dogs are at my feet sleeping, or at least have their eyes closed. Okay? I'm paying attention to Coco doing his abnormal repetitive behavior behind me. I'm listening to everything that's going on in the environment. This morning when I was listening to the last episode of Coffee with the Critters, I sat there and I was listening because I paused a lot in between talking. I was like, that could really drive some of the viewers. It could cause you to drop off and not watch the live stream. Then maybe this live stream's not for you. Because I was watching what I was doing. I was like, why am I pausing so much? And so I'm watching what I'm doing. And I was reading my own behavior, watching, and I was like, because I'm listening, I'm like, something's happening back here. That noise. I don't want to hear that noise. That means lack of complexity in that cage. People unknowingly reinforce separation anxiety. Always holding the animal, always walking around with the animal, always coddling the animal. If that animal likes that, you're probably well on your way creating separation anxiety. And we have I think 2 or 3 podcasts in the membership levels on separation anxiety alone, in depth detail. Because one of the hardest things to work with separation anxiety is when that animal is attached to one person and one person only. Because what that means is it can bring on behaviors labeled as aggressive with anybody else in the environment that has to take care of that animal. That's not fair to those other people. That's not fair to that animal. If this is an animal in a home, this animal is likely to lose its home because of the behavior issues that we reinforced. Another one that is huge is, may have heard me say this before, one label that if I hear inside, I'm sitting there going, I'm twitching my head, the terrible twos. There's nothing terrible about that age of learning other than it's an inconvenient to the person. Okay? The terrible, I can tell somebody's here. The terrible twos, by watching Rocky, those are years of young learning. If you have the luxury of training something when it's young, don't waste that time. That is time that animal's learning, and if you keep it reinforced, positively reinforced, it can remain very strong throughout its life, especially the first ones it's learned. Okay, so terrible twos, there's nothing terrible about them. What's terrible is seeing that time wasted not training that animal for a successful future.